My life has been an exploration of how individuals and communities transform, and the roles that the arts, especially theater, can play in catalyzing transformation. 15 years ago, I was hit by lightning. In the weeks preceding getting struck by lightning, I was performing my one-woman show called The Initiation. Can the stories we tell have an impact on the real world? I traveled for 4 years trying to answer that question. I researched how different spiritual traditions used the tools of my trade, story, music, dance, to transform consciousness and consequently behavior. This was important to me because there was a lot in the world that I wanted to change. Could the arts play a role in making the world a kinder, more conscious, and more sustainable place? The Initiation play was one of many of my experiments around the connection between the spiritual and the physical. How can the spiritual impact the physical? The spiritual world is the world we cannot see. It is mysterious. It is the world of the imagination, ideas, our feelings, belief systems. These are the things that we cannot touch. They are metaphysical. The arts can give people an experience of the transformation we want before it's actually here. When we experience the new reality, even if it's through a metaphysical experience like watching a play, this can mobilize us to take action to change the physical world. Martin Luther King created a metaphysical experience of what having civil rights would feel like in his I Have a Dream speech. When people felt what it was going to be like, they were absolutely committed to build that world. Once the heart expands, it does not willingly contract. Gandhi gave Indians the metaphysical experience of independence by harvesting their own salt, by burning their British-made clothes. When they tasted the exhilaration of independence, they were even willing to risk their lives to create independence as an actual reality. I founded a theater company and wrote, directed, and produced our first play called The New Earth, which invoked an increase in environmental sustainability. Although funders were mystified at the claim that a 3-night performance could have any lasting impact on our city, we raised $33,000 to mount it. The play, with a cast of 25 actors, singers, dancers, live original music, and martial arts battle sequences, was performed at the Zollner Arts Center. Our community partners included the Sierra Club and the Mid-Atlantic Renewable Energy Association, and catalyzed the creation of a green charter school in Emmaus, Pennsylvania, which now serves over 400 students who are learning about environmental stewardship every day. Here's a 5th grade teacher introducing her students to their resident bee population. Now, how can a play be a catalyst? In the 3 years it took to create the play, many people met for the first time who were working on different pieces of the sustainability puzzle. Strong friendships formed, and when we founded the school, we knew where the expertise and resources could be found. Now, no one can prove that if you pray for something and it happens, that it happens because of the prayer. And yet, if you do get what you pray for, it does seem appropriate to say, thank you. There was an undeniable grace that surrounded the launch of the school, and I was saying thank you a lot. After 7 years, I shut down the theater company and I moved to Asheville. I decided for my next project, I wanted to play what role I could in supporting the peace process in the Middle East. For that, I would need a larger audience. It was time to make a movie. I'm working on the 4th draft of my screenplay with the help of my writer buddies Gareth Higgins and Giles Carwin. It will be a feature film called For Gaia. It's invoking increased peace in the Middle East by examining the connection between oil dependence in the U.S. and the conflict in the Middle East. It's a story about a woman named Margaret and her daughter Gaia, who was killed as a Marine in the Iraq War. Margaret realizes she's complicit in her daughter's death because she's part of the system that necessitates that we go to war to protect our oil interests. So Margaret resolves to change her life by committing to stop using fossil fuels. But then she faces the same conundrum that we all face. How on earth do we do that? I'd venture to say that here tonight we're all environmentalists, and yet I'd also venture to say we're all still using a lot of gas and oil. I held the first of what will be many Asheville community gatherings this January to ask the question, what is the new normal that we're working towards? What does it look like if it doesn't look like an economy that's run on fossil fuels? Does it look like what they're doing in Germany and Japan with massive investments in solar? Does it look like a massive shift to electric cars like they're doing in Norway? This is a electric car recharge station in Canada. How did these countries make the switch? How did they overcome the obstacles, and how can we? I want to identify 3 green projects that can model the new normal in my film to give people a metaphysical experience of what an environmentally sustainable society will look and feel like. And I want to hear your ideas of what these projects could be. Then I'll implement those projects into the film. Instead of raising money to build film sets that are then torn down, we'll raise the money to invest in the new green infrastructure of Asheville. This story can then be a roadmap toward a more peaceful and sustainable new normal for the rest of the world. Thanks.